niche doubles team that you don't really see very often, but it does have
surprisingly enough, actually.
It is quite potent where it needs to be. No,
if we're seeing Dedede Dittos, though, I'm going to walk out right now. I'm gonna walk out right now.
Now, Dedede is, oh, are we actually going to see this? Indeed we are. Dedede Dittos.
Did they do this on purpose? They put this set on purpose. This is not a button check. Okay, it's not a button check. Let's go.
Wow. All right, diving straight in. We said all that stuff about Game & Watch, and we're not even going to see Game & Watch at the moment. Double Dedede, definitely not a matchup that you see very often.
This is actually, like, my demon. Dedede is so scary. He has things.
He's a very strange character. Definitely one where if you sleep on his tools, he can really, really blow you up hard. He does have a lot of hard-hitting normals, and that Gordo is really, really great at setting up for ledge pressure situations.
And his up air is relatively large as well as his back air on the ledge. So you kind of want to avoid hanging around him in his space as well. He does have a lot of startup lag on his moves, so that's something you could take advantage of.
Absolutely. Now, pretty even game from these two. Very nice confirm off of the Gordo. Tries to down air the Gordo right there. A little bit too slow. Dedede's down air, one of the slowest in the game, in fact. Ooh, very, very close to that forward smash.
Yeah, he extended his hurt box actually right there.
That forward smash, also one of the slowest moves in the game. I believe the slowest forward smash by a good margin, actually. Frame 42.
That's what's holding the character back, essentially, is the frame data is just not the best. But if you don't understand how Gordos work and the fact that he could hit them back at you, and you're never really safe.
Yeah. Now, that said, though, generally, a lot of what you want to try and do versus Dedede is play from either a long distance where you can easily react to the Gordo, or get up in his face and abuse his poor frame data.
And take advantage of your own fast frame data, especially if you're playing a character like Sheik.
Absolutely. Right now, KOSSismoss gradually building up this lead with the Dedede.
Trying to catch a 2-frame with a dash attack. Good attempt there on Koss. Gordo's going to be sending him off stage. Pretty bad position to be in. And he eats the Gordo! Putting himself in a really bad position, as I mentioned on the ledge there. And Cake taking advantage and taking that stock.
I have definitely never seen that happen before. Well, of course, Dedede Dittos aren't exactly the most common thing.
Obscure.
Yep, definitely obscure. Right now, one move that we are seeing good use out of is that down tilt coming out from Koss. The shield break was so close.
He took advantage of the super armor right there. I was like, okay, that's not going to trade. Absolutely not. And that shield break, though.
Very, very close. Ooh, got hit by the sour spot of the shockwave of that forward smash.
The scary part is this is very close.
Yeah, it's closer than it seems, but the forward air, just about enough to take the stock in that position. KOSSismoss taking game one. Dedede Dittos. Dedede.
Dedede Dittos. Honestly, what I could have seen a little bit differently from Cake versus Koss was that Cake liked to linger in the air, but the problem is when you're trying to kind of infiltrate that airspace, you're giving up your option to shield. And that's the one thing that Koss was taking advantage of. He stayed grounded and was like, I'm not going to chase you in the air, but when you land, I know for a fact I'm going to get a punish on you.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you have a character like Dedede with his incredibly slow airspeed and those kind of small, awkward jumps as well. It can be quite easy to shark him. He does, of course, have that neutral air to come down, but it's not the fastest move, and its hitbox is very easy to challenge with good anti-airs.
We're seeing a very similar playstyle from the last game right now. Notice how this is how Cake was put off stage at this moment, because Koss was continuously pressuring Cake, walking forward and taking stage control.
And as you mentioned before, we're seeing the anti-airs coming out from KOSSismoss, preventing Cake from really landing as he's just being stuck in the air.
Oh, but he rolls right into that up B attempt right there.
And that does so much damage as well. Good DI on the up air to avoid dying right there. The Gordos clash, but KOSSismoss gets the worst of it. That time, Cake getting the worst of it.
and putting himself off stage. And this is the position you don't want. Oh my!
Oh, he misinputted with the neutral B and ended up SDing right there.
I love how he does the good sportsmanship though. Notice how he just crouches. All right, look at me now. I'm beautiful, but
that is Dedede's 4th taunt. That crouch, it is pretty fantastic. But now Cake starting to get the lead right here.
All these rolls, we're seeing so many rolls from both of these players actually, and every time Cake is by the ledge, I always see KOSS roll back.
Oh, the dunk just swiftly taking that game.
Silent Doom, what frame is that down here again?
It's something like frame, I want to say either 20 or 22. It is very, very slow. And yet he managed to land it right there. He knew exactly how that was going to happen. All right, that was a strange set, to say the least.
I love commentating low tier dittos.